Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Kiki's Kitchen. This morning we are making a lemon loaf. We have a little ladies' brunch tomorrow at church, so I'm making a few things for it. So we're going to start, as we always do, we're going to mix the dry ingredients in a separate bowl, and we will add that to our wet ingredients. But before I get this thing making a lot of noise, I figured we would start with the other stuff first. So, let me see if I can't pull things down and forward so you can see. Oh, I need that. I always like to show you when I measure. I certainly understand that there are many people who know how to measure. I have no doubt, but for those who are young and learning, this is how we do it. And I always have a scoop in my flour. If you have a little scoop, you can get them anywhere. But it allows you to scoop it in and then lightly pour it into your measuring cup. This is a dry measuring cup. The reason it's a dry measuring cup is because it has a surface that we can go across and make flat. So as you can see, I hope, yes, you can see, I have it heaped up. I'm not trying to pack this in here. I'm trying to settle it into the cup lightly. So I'm going to tap it just a few times. Then I'm going to take the back of my knife, the flat side of my knife, and I'm going to run it over the top. I'm not trying to pack this by any stretch of the imagination. I am just trying to settle in all the little air pockets. And that gives you a nice even flour measurement. And flour is the one thing that can go bad on you, because if you pack it, you can make your product, whatever you're making, a cake or whatever, very dense. So this is calling for 1.5 cups of flour. However, of course, you know me, I'm doubling it. So the recipe that I give you in the comment section will be for the single recipe. So I heaped it up and I tap it off and flatten it out. So it's 1.5 cups of flour for the single recipe. So obviously that's going to be 3 cups of flour in here. Now this will freeze beautifully. If while you have it all out, you want to go ahead and double the recipe and then stick it in the freezer for when someone stops by or a rainy day. That works too. So there's 3. All right, so done with the flour. So to this we want to add baking powder, not soda. And so make sure you get the powder and not the soda. And to this we want 1 teaspoon. So obviously I need 2 because I'm doubling it. And what I do is I dip it in here and then I pull it off so that it's nice and flat. And get a true measurement. 1, 2. And a pinch of salt. So, of course, you know my story, kosher salt always. So there's a pinch, and there's 2 pinches. I like kosher salt because it melts better, it bakes better, it cooks better, and it has a better flavor. Iodized salt has iodine in it, and sometimes, to me, it can be bitter. Okay, so that is our dry ingredients, flour, baking powder, and salt, and we're going to put this aside. So the next thing that we want to mix together is the juice and zest of 1 lemon. Well, again, I'm doing 2, so we're going to do 2 lemons. Come on, making a little mess here, that's okay. So I've washed my lemons because, of course, I'm using my, you would wash it anyway, but I'm using my zest. So, and I wanted to show you how I zest. I've already done 1 lemon. So what you do, this is my rasp, and there are all different kinds of them that you can use. And you go down and really you just take the top edge. Can you see the difference between that? You don't want to get down to the white because the white is bitter. So just go around and get all of the zest. There's just the top. There's a lot of oils in the zest, and they are so fragrant and flavorful. So I did do one, so I wouldn't hold this up, but I did want to show you in case you've never done that before. It just adds a whole lot of flavor to whatever it is that's calling for the zest. All right, can you see that? And when it's calling for lemon juice, I missed a spot. When it's calling for lemon juice, obviously you want to zest it first. Also, always remember to clean off the back of your zester, because there's some real good zest back there. So here we go. Get all that good lemon zest. All right. So, and it's calling for the juice of that lemon, right? So when I juice a lemon or a lime, either or, I always cut the ends off and then cut it in half and then put it in my juicer. Somehow by cutting the ends off, it gives your juicer someplace to go. You know, it just lets the juice flow through easier. So I'm just juicing it up. Ooh, and it is a juicy one. Try to keep it out of my eyes. And I mean, this is a juicy lemon. All right. So this is telling us to, hang on, let me throw this away. So this is telling us in a separate bowl, and I do believe there were no seeds in there. So in a separate bowl to add my lemon juice and my lemon zest. Get all that goodness in there. And my eggs, which it's 2 eggs, so I'm going to do 4. Of course, you know I'm going to break them in something different, because you know I can't break them into that in the chance that there's a bad egg. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Alrighty, so I'm going to add those in with my lemon juice. And I'm going to grab a whisk, because I want to mix it up just a little bit. It's going to go into the mixer with the creamed sugar, but I want this just a little mixed. And to that, we're going to also add our vanilla. Eggs, vanilla, lemon, and lemon zest. So I do believe, how much do I want of this? I'm so sorry, guys. 1 teaspoon. So I want 2 teaspoons of vanilla. There's 1. And there's 2. All right. So I'm just going to mix that up just a little bit so that when I pour it in, it won't all be any one thing. So now we have our dry ingredients. And we have actually, you know what I always tell you about the dry ingredients too. Whenever you've got flour, if you take a whisk and you run it through your flour, just run it around there. Any lumps or anything, it kind of acts like a sifter. So makes it a little lighter. So, all right. So now what we're going to do is we're ready to start creaming the sugar and the butter together. So I have 2 sticks of butter. It calls for 1, but I'm doubling. So 2 sticks. Room temperature, of course. Come on off of there. And so this wasn't exactly room temperature. So I stuck it in the microwave, and you know, that's a fine line. You can go bad in a hurry there. But I actually did it and didn't melt it completely. That's amazing. Okay, so we want 1 stick of butter, 1 cup of sugar. So 2 sticks of butter and 2 cups of sugar. Now, for sugar, it's less forgiving. You can actually, gosh, I wish I had a bigger kitchen. You can actually scoop down in here with the sugar because the sugar isn't going to pack, granulated sugar anyway. And now I do the same thing. I overfill it, and then I use the back of my knife to level it off, because sometimes, you know, you think, that's good, right? But, you know, that can be up to 1/4 cup of sugar, and that can really make a difference in your baking recipe. Baking is an exact science, cooking not so much. Okay, so that is 2 cups of sugar and 2 sticks of butter. And I'm going to cream those together, and I'm going to shut this off so you don't have to listen to it. And when it gets creamy, I'll be back. Okay, so we have our butter creamed in, as you can see. You see that? Our butter is creamed in with our sugar. So to that, I'm going to add my egg mixture, which has got my eggs in it, my lemon juice, and my lemon zest. So, hold on a second. I know the camera's bad. I'm trying to do things left-handed, right-handed. There we go. Sort of. I'll get there. All right. Can you see in there? Okay. So this is our lemon zest mixture. I want half a face. And I just kind of, and it's the lemon zest, and it's the lemon juice, and the eggs, and I'm going to get all that good lemon zest off of there, and the vanilla. So we're going to add this slowly into this. A little faster than that, it will be. But you can see that it's picking it up from the sides and incorporating it down into the creamed butter. And just kind of have a little steady stream going. Putting you back up here because I've got to get the rest of this good lemon zest out of here. Turn this down because I want to get this stuff off of my beater, and so that it can get down in there and get mixed in good. And once I get this mixing a little bit more, I'm going to add, I have a 1/2 cup of milk. Now, I've got whole milk. Truthfully, the very best is if you use heavy cream, but I don't have heavy cream, so I'm using whole milk. And that works really well, too. 1/2 and 1/2 works well. Heavy cream is the best. So the recipe will tell you heavy cream. It'll tell you a 1/4 cup, but I'm doubling, so I've got a 1/2 cup. But it will also tell you if you don't have heavy cream, you can use 1/2 and 1/2 or whole milk. So let me get this mixed up. And I'm going to stop this a little bit. I want you to see what it looks like down in there. I'm going to get that mixed in just a little bit more. And then we're going to start adding our flour, and we're going to alternate it with our milk. Looks good to me. Down. And remember, we took the whisk and just went through here just to get any lumps out. It's kind of a little sift cheat, if you will. So I'm gonna move this paddle so I can get to it. There we go. I'm going to put maybe a third of it in here. And so here's my milk. I'm going to put a little dab of milk in here and let that mix and blend in. You just want we're just trying, excuse me. We're just trying to, get it to blend in well. That's all. And see, you can see how nicely that's blending. So I'll stop that. Taking maybe another third of it. A little bit more of my milk. Leave some for the end. Let that go. Blueberries would be really good in this chip. Okay. Last third. And see, also by using that whisk with, when you're whisking your dry ingredients, you're also turning your baking powder or soda or salt, you're mixing that all together too. So if something puffs out the top, you're not losing all your baking powder. If that makes any sense. All right, I'm gonna let this blend up until it's nice and smooth, and I'll be back. We're still mixing, but I wanted to make sure that you knew to make sure you go back in here when it's about, whenever you see it's kind of built up on the sides, and pull it down from the sides. You want to make sure that all your ingredients are in there, and while that might not be much, you don't want to have any like powder lumps on the top of it. So I just pulled down the sides, and gonna finish it. Okay, we're back, and we have a nice creamy batter, as you can see. And I gotta tell you, I made a change. I made a little extra change I want to make sure I tell you about. I added a teaspoon of lemon extract to my batter. While sometimes lemons are sweet, sometimes they're very juicy, but sometimes they just don't give off as much flavor as I want. So, I added a teaspoon of lemon extract. It will always, no matter whether it's juicy or not, it will always bring up the flavor. So I will put that in the recipe. 1 teaspoon of lemon extract. So these are my loaf pans, and this is my Aldi Carlini spray, just canola spray. And for these things, these are not a tough, intricate pan to get stuff stuck in. So I'm going to spray the sides, but I am going to, and I always do, take a piece of parchment, and I just lay it across here. You don't have to have it go end to end by any stretch. I'm just going to lay it across here, and that lets me lift it out nice and easily. So I've got 2 pans. Like I said, I doubled the recipe. And of course, as we were mixing, and I said, I love lemon and blueberries. I have blueberries. So I have decided we're going to make put blueberries in here. Because lemons and blueberries are just so awesome. So here, this is 2 cups of blueberries, because I decided a cup per loaf, right? And so the secret, when you're adding fruit of any kind, but particularly blueberries, is to take a little flour, and this is way too much, but I'm just going to sprinkle that. You know what? I'm going to tell you that a tablespoon or so would be fine, because all you're doing is you want a light coat of flour over your blueberries. And what this does is it doesn't let them sink. You know how sometimes you make something with fruit in it and all the fruit sinks to the bottom? This will stop that from doing that. So I'm going to put these in here. And of course I'm going to do them not in the blender or in the mixer because I don't want to smash them up. I want to gently fold them in. So over, just kind of folding them all around. Oh, this is going to be good. It's going to be good. All right, I think I've got them all nice and folded in here. So now I'm going to divide this batter. I have my oven preheating on 350, and we're going to bake it for about 40 minutes. Okay, so let me get this in here. You know, I'm so bad at dividing up batter between cake pans. I know you're not able to see it, but hold on, you know what I'm doing. I actually think I did pretty good. Who knew? Once in a while. I'm telling you, my husband's at work today. He is my eldest child when it comes to licking the spoons and licking batter. Oh my gosh. And interestingly enough, they say, you know, you shouldn't eat batter, raw dough, whatever. And people think it's because of the eggs. But the truth is, the raw flour is worse for you than the eggs. At least the eggs are pasteurized. All right. I think I did pretty good. Look. They look pretty even to me. Right? So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go 1, 2, and get the air out. That's my mama. 1, 2, and get the air out. The other thing I'm going to do is, I know it's parchment paper, and I know it's not supposed to burn. However, that's just a little too much. So I'm just cutting a few of the edges off so that it's not flapping, it doesn't touch anything. Because you're going to go into the oven, 350 for 40 minutes, and I'll see you then. Okay, after we last chatted, I decided that I would make 2 more. And honestly, when the camera's not rolling, I did this in about maybe 10 minutes. So I have 2 with blueberries, these 2 here, and then I have 2 with no blueberries, because I do know people who think that fruit should not be a part of any kind of a dessert. So I got a plain and I got a with. So I'll be back in 40 when they come out of the oven. Okay, they're out of the oven. It smells really good in here. And I wanted to just show you. So here is one of the ones with the blueberries. So I love these little picks. They're a little longer than a toothpick. And they go in and come out perfectly clean. So they're done. I'm going to lift this out. You know what? I'm not going to lift this out. I'm going to let it cool in the pan for about 10 minutes. Because it has the fruit in it, it's a little bit less sturdy than these other 2. See these 2? Those are the plain ones. But the fruit in the other ones make them more moist and wet. So I'm going to let them cool in that pan for about 10 minutes. Tomorrow at the lunch, I will cut these. I will cut these this way. Bink, 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 bink. And then I'll cut them down the middle so that they're squares, so that there'll be plenty for everyone. But I find that because I'm having this, I'm doing the apple cake, I'm doing a cinnamon roll casserole, which I will show you, and I'm doing a breakfast egg casserole, which I will show you, and a yogurt bar. So everybody wants to try a little bit of something. So that's why I cut them that way. So anyway, this is a really good, easy recipe, and it's a wonderful thing. Once it gets cool, it goes in the freezer, bam, and you always have one. So that's why I did 4. See ya. Have a good day. I'll be back, actually. We got more.